That's all it is.
Actually, no, it doesn't. Well, at least it doesn't now. I don't remember if it used to. Maybe it didn't. I guess it didn't list it in the launcher, but you could go to the website and like re-download it from their website if you if you already have a key from whenever it came out, 2096, whatever it came out. I don't remember.
Yeah, you probably can do that with other games like Warcraft 3. There's no way I'm ever gonna find that license. It's like burnt in some landfill somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably extract the license from the game if I tried hard enough, but I don't care that much.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice that I assume, probably shouldn't be doing this right now, but I assume I put my key in on my account, and so it should know that I already own this game, because I don't think I have the discs anymore.
Yeah. Well, this doesn't surprise me. Since it's an act of Blizzard. Or Blizzard Vision, whatever you want to call it. I prefer putting Activision first, because not only alphabetically is that correct, but Activision is clearly the one that has controlled the direction the company's going and is calling the shots.
Yeah. Act of Blizzard.
Yeah. Act of Blizzard. But,
where do
we like to complain about some other companies, like, say, Bethesda and stuff like that. But, I don't know. When I already owned Skyrim and they made an HD version of that game, they gave it to me for free on computer, so I can't really complain that much now, can I? Gearbox, another company I like to complain about these days, did it too. Gave me the original Borderlands for free when they updated it. Like, this seems to just be a staple in the PC market. Like, hey, thanks for supporting us. Have this thing. Actually, there's another thing too. Like, so you know how they made the Handsome Collection for Borderlands, where it's like an HD version of Borderlands 2 in the pre-sequel for updated consoles? On computer, instead of making a completely different executable, all they did was give you like a DLC expansion that was free that you could choose to download, and like several gigs it would patch it into your system and make the game HD. Like, it would just upgrade the graphics for everything. Didn't have to pay for it or anything, you just had to make sure you had room on your computer.
Yeah.
Which I think is the better way of doing it. It's like, why make me download a whole separate game file when you could just patch the one I already have? Like, I
don't know.
With Borderlands 1, because it uses the same, like, update to the engine they've been using since 2. You could feel, like, big differences between 1 and 2. So they basically remade that game from the ground up in the newer version. But, like, if you're still using basically the same engine and you just cranked up the graphics, why make me download the game again? Anyway, we are live.
There must be a reason.
And welcome to the Vomitorium. I am your host, The Metal, as always, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer. How you doing today?
Great, how are you?
I am doing fantastic, because I've been playing Bravely Default 2, and I'm really enjoying the game. Yeah.
Sweet.
I love it. I didn't even know I was getting this at first. I wasn't planning on getting it for a while. I was planning on getting it eventually, but it's like I already have other games I need to beat, other things I need to do. But then my mom was like, hey, you help me out all the time. Here, have a game. And just, like, bought it on Amazon and shipped it to me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I can't complain. It is a game that was on my list. I enjoyed the original to the point that I actually stopped playing it. Yeah, it's kind of my own fault. I know a lot of people complain about it, but
Does that make sense? I enjoyed it so much I stopped playing it.
Yeah. Well, again, it's my own damn fault. So most people complain because in the original Bravely Default, the world resets itself like 5 times, right? Or 4 times it resets. You go through the world 5 times. You start the game, you go and you do the 4 crystal things like you do in almost any Final Fantasy type game. You go and you fight the final boss, and then there's like a shift, and you get stuck in like a typhoon tornado type thing, and then you wake up in your airship, and you're back at the beginning of the world. Your levels are still the same, but the world reset, and you're in a second cycle of the world, which in some ways is kind of reminiscent of the original Final Fantasy, with the whole chaos cycle. And you have to do this like 4 more times before you actually beat the game. I didn't know that's how the game was going. That's not a complaint of mine. I don't care that the world reset. If I knew it was going to do that, and I, had planned for that and hunkered in. But instead, I went to this island where there were these tough monsters, and I went on a hard grind from level 23 all the way to like level 65, thinking I was getting near the end of the game. So now I was way over leveled, which is okay. You can actually turn the random encounters off because they let you control like the rate of random encounters in that game. And I could just stream to the bosses, but it's like I just didn't feel like playing it at that point because I had grind so much for no reason. Like, oh god, I still have to do this 4 more times.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You're not selling me on this game, although I probably. Well, here's the question: if I wanted to get into Bravely Default 2, should I play the first one? I have it actually on Citra.
Yeah.
Would you recommend I play that, or just go ahead and just get the?
I would recommend just go straight to
Switch.
2. Like, eventually play Bravely Default, sure. I mean, I like the story, I like the characters in it. It's very, Final Fantasy. But like Final Fantasy, they have, as far as I can tell, nothing to do with each other.
Okay.
Right? It's like, as much in common as Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 2 do.
Oh, so brand new characters. Nothing.
Yeah. There was a sequel to the first Bravely Default called Bravely Second, which was a direct sequel to it. But Bravely Default 2, like with the Final Fantasy naming convention, is a new story.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So GMT's asking me if I have any new games in my totally real game collection behind me. Well, let me go grab one from the shelf here. I do have these, but I think I've shown these before.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 10/10-2 and 12.
Yep.
Trying to get them to not disappear.
One of them I can recommend way more than the other 2, but still all good games.
And I've played them a little offline, but I don't want to play them too much because I plan on streaming. So
well, you don't even want to touch 10-2 yet because it has spoilers for 10.
I haven't. No, I played a little of this because I've never played 10 before, and it comes with a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's not. It comes with like 4 different games that I don't even know. I don't even understand.
What are the other 2 games?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're side quests basically. I'd have to turn it on and look because when you bring it up, there's like 4 different options, and I'm like, what the heck is all this? But anyway, there's like a couple of side quests I think that are separate games that it comes with. But anyway, Ghost. Other than that, I did go ahead because eventually, I guess when I'm done with my Final Fantasy adventure, no pun intended with the Final Fantasy adventure game. I think I'm gonna do Dragon Quest, and so I went ahead and got Dragon Quest 3 on Switch because I already have 1 and 2, but I'll have to start over. I was halfway through 2 when I had my Switch stolen and basically lost my save game, so I didn't feel like playing it anymore after that.
Yeah, because I like 1. 2 is when they actually start getting to a decent length of game. So if you're like halfway through that, yeah. 1, like if you're halfway through 1, that's like a single sitting. You can just start over.
Yeah, I'll bring it up so that I can tell you, because you're probably like, what are you talking about as far as the other games that come with it? But
I probably know
it's funny because
I just don't know which ones they put on the disc.
Yeah, and I can't remember. But it's funny because you were saying before that you've considered Final Fantasy 1 to be a relatively short game. And
yeah, but Dragon Quest 1 is like the granddaddy ancestor of all RPGs, which explains why it's so short.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dragon Quest 1, I can play from beginning to end in like one session. Yeah. I think I can finish it in like 3 or 4 hours, and that's not speedrunning. That's just a casual playthrough. I can finish it in like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, as opposed to when I say like Final Fantasy 1 you could beat in one sitting. That's like considering a work day or a full days of sitting. Right? Yeah,
it's like 8 to 10 hours kind of. But so yeah, it comes with Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X Eternal Calm. You know what that is?
Okay, yeah, that sounds familiar.
And then X2, and then X2 Last Mission. So I feel like those are probably DLCs originally.
Well, expansion packs.
Or
this is before DLC was a thing.
Yeah. So I'd never even heard of those, because I'd never played any of these.
Yeah.
But the remaster comes with all 4. So, cool.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Dragon Quest III: The Search for Spock. That's right.
Well, it's funny because Dragon Quest, right? I think Bravely Default actually feels very Dragon Quest-esque as well. Like they're kind of pulling some things that were popular in both series. So there's no random encounters in this one, which is bothering me, but that tends to be kind of a staple thing. Later Dragon Quest games kind of took away random encounters as well. You have like running around in the overworld, and they kind of do the same thing where when you're like a lower level or the same level as the monster, they'll be aggressive and attack you, but once you're over leveled from the monster, they'll start running away sweating like, oh no, I don't want to fight this guy. And they have that mechanic in here too. That's
kind of cool. Yeah, in 3 there's random encounters. What's interesting about 3 is the way that they decided to do the party. Like in 2, in Dragon Quest 1, obviously you're a single character.
Yeah, nobody beats that party.
What, in 1?
Yeah. This is a one-man army.
Yeah, you're a party of 1. In 2, there's like a set party, so like it's a story of it's a story about 3 characters. There's the descendant. Well, actually, I guess they're all related, and they're all descendants of the hero.
Yeah, because you also find out that Erdrick isn't even the name of a real person. It's a title at some point that you can get multiple times. Like, you get the title of your ancestor.
Yeah. And interestingly, Dragon Quest XI is basically like the Skyward Sword of the series, in that it's the original Erdrick.
Yeah.
But in 3... It goes back to being basically the story of one person. It's a prequel to 1, but you have a party in that you can go and hire people.
Yeah.
So you end up with a party of 4, but the other 3 people are just like random people that you can pick up. And you can swap them out. Yeah, exactly. Basically, you can swap them out, and you can throw away your other person and pull it. So they've got kind of a job system, a rudimentary job system. But it's sort of back to the story of one person plus his 3 companions that he hires. So anyway, that's Dragon Quest 3 for you.
The funny is, I have Dragon Quest tacked on my phone, but I haven't even started it yet.
Dragon Quest Tic Tacs.
Yeah. Like, I haven't even booted up. I have it downloaded, and like, I want to play this. But I've got so many other things that I'm playing that I'm just, like, a smartphone game is the last thing on my radar at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm still in the middle of Final Fantasy IV, and I haven't been playing much because, God, I've been so busy with work lately. But I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I've been like, I want to play more, but like at the end of the day, like every day has been so full. Like I don't know. I mean, hopefully this is just like a occasional surge. We get assigned, tickets, and we have to work on something. So my queue has been huge, and I've just been like running ragged all day. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm too tired to stream. So
yeah.
Hopefully I'll get back into it. So I did like one stream last week, and that was about it.
I might stream this game, because I know I haven't been streaming Octopath, but I already told you why I wasn't streaming Octopath. With the way my setup is, and having to project it on this pink wall, the way the lights reflect, things just get muddied out. There's like no true blacks or anything, as if you would on a white wall with reflections better. And I also, everything's so pixely, I can't read the words on the screen because how tiny the words are.
Now, why can't you hook it up to that TV behind you?
But this TV only has, what's it called? RCA or whatever. It doesn't have HDMI. Yeah. No, this is a fat box TV. Like, this is an old widescreen, like when they first started. So it's got like auxiliary, it's got red, white, yellow, doesn't have HDMI.
I need to send you a new TV.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind even just having like a small, maybe like a 20-inch computer monitor that's got HDMI that I could hook it up into, and I could use as a second monitor when I'm not doing that. It would make running the podcast a lot easier having a second monitor, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I've got two, and I've just been lazy. All I need is a second cord, and I can plug it into my computer. Right now it's plugged into my Switch.
Yeah.
But
that's all I need.
Yeah.
But this game,
I need that weird.
The words are bigger.
I need one of those weird. It's not HDMI, but it's like that other.
Oh
connection.
yeah. It's the new.
I forget what it's called.
It's like a 4-letter name that for some reason reminds me of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah, it's about the same size as HDMI, but it has like a little notch.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you were saying that there's bigger writing?
Yeah, the words are bigger. Even like the screen. So you saw the screen in Octopath. Even though there's no like menus that pop up there's no menu that's always up. They pop up when you're on the character. So the battle takes up more of the screen than like a traditional Final Fantasy game would. The words are still really tiny because of the pop-up menus, and it's all very small sprite-based, and everything's lined up on the screen at once. This view, being like a 3D game, using the same model style as Final Fantasy 3 and 4 for the DS, actually has more of that Final Fantasy 3 back view with the menus and stuff, and everything's just like bigger on the screen. That I could probably make out the words even with how pixelated my projector is. And I don't even have to read most of it. Like, the only thing that, what's it called? The only thing you have to read is, like, the pointless stuff, like the party chat or the townfolk, right? Everything else is voice acted. So, like, the cutscenes, just let it go, and I don't have to read off anything. So I'll probably stream that. I made my personal file that'll probably be way ahead of the stream on file 2, as I habitually always do anyway. So I'll probably just use file 1 for streaming.
Cool. Yes, GMT guessed it. It's DisplayPort. That's it. It's called DisplayPort.
No, I might be thinking of the other one, because there's like a newer one for graphics cards. It doesn't look like an HDMI on one end, right? It's more like a trapezoid. Yeah, it's more like a trapezoid instead of like being rectangular. It's like it's slanted on one side.
Is it DVI?
That might be a DVI port. Yeah.
That's a bigger. thing.
No, I don't think it's DVI because it's almost the same size as an HDMI, almost. It's like a newer port. It might be like a newer version of DVI or something. I don't know, but my brother has it on one of his cards, and it's like the only way he could plug it in is he had to get like a.
That is DisplayPort. I think you're thinking of DisplayPort.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I need. So my graphics card has oddly one HDMI out and like 3 DisplayPort things.
It could be mini DisplayPort. Yeah, because I remember it being longer. It wasn't like just a 2-letter or like the acronym. It was at least 3. So it could be mini DisplayPort.
Maybe it was MDP or something.
Yeah.
That might be it. Anyway, yeah, there's really no reason why. I just have been lazy to. I could probably go down to Best Buy and get one.
But you can't go to Fry's. Because
they don't. It is?
Yeah, as far Fry's is closing down.
Oh, well, they don't have that in Alabama anyway.
Yeah.
What about the grocery store?
I don't know. I think it might just be Fry's Electronics. I know they're like all kind of connected because they're like the same parent company, but I don't know if the grocery store is going down too. I just know that Fry's Electronics is.
I'm guessing not, because Fry's grocery store is actually, I think they got bought by Kroger. So I think they're still around. In fact, I'm not even sure if it's the same company. I don't know. I guess I heard that. That was a while ago, wasn't it? That Fry's Electronics.
Yeah, and they're just like, it's catching up to them. So within like the month, all of them will be closed or something like that.
Oh, okay. TMT says, I think Thunderbolt does display too. Yeah, that's the Apple one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they all have to sound like weird naming conventions for Ford cars. Wait, no, I'm thinking of Thunderbird.
Fry's closing down. How is the professor going to get stuff delivered now?
In Futurama.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's going to have to hire somebody named Best Buy. Do they have Best Buy all over the country, right?
Yeah. They have Best Buy like everywhere. I think they have Best Buy out of the country. Even like Rick has Best Buy up in Canada.
Yeah, they somehow managed to evolve, I guess, to where they could actually be profitable.
Yeah.
I think I'm guessing because, well, I don't know. I guess I've not heard.
Club is probably what did it.
Yeah, and like they have an agreement with Apple, so they have Apple products in their stores.
One of the very few places that do, because you have to work with Apple to have their products.
And they tend to have decent prices. Sometimes I'll price things out and be like, you can compare like right there in the store with like Amazon, and it's usually pretty comparable. So I don't know. I might be eating my words when they announce bankruptcy next year, but who knows?
I think they're doing fine. They're one of the few places that people will go to if they have issues with other places, because gamers on a whole, they're very principled people where they'll stop buying somewhere if they hate it. Well, probably one of the reasons why GameStop had been doing so bad.
Yeah,
because like I just don't. Shop at GameStop at all. Like I just won't.
They still are doing bad despite their ridiculous stock price.
Yeah, well, the problem is at the end of the day, even though stocks are supposed to inherently represent investment in a company, if the company isn't worth what the stock price is driving up, it's not going to do anything to help the company out by driving the stock price up.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the company. As far as I know, I can't. I mean,
well, because stocks don't work the way they were intended to work. When the stock market was first made, they were supposed to be like a representation of investment into the company, but that's not how stocks work, like at all. They're just a market at this point.
Yeah, I mean, for casual investors, like, unless you are like a company or some sort of big investor where you've actually owned a significant portion, like 10 to 50%, 10 to 51%. I mean, if you own 10% of stock of a company, you have voting power.
Oh yeah.
But only multi-millionaires could ever do that, typically, or like the original founders.
Yeah, you should never ever allow more than like between 45. I mean, I guess you could leave up to 49% of stock in the market, but you probably should never go past 45% being available on the market. You should keep at least like 55% between the people who founded it.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, I saw I got red. We're probably going to lose connection soon. Internet was working fine until this. Every time.
Of course.
Every freaking time. It has to be whenever we're going live. Oh, we're green. Okay.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah. But yeah, you should never ever have more than 45% of stock flow.
Well, it depends on what your goal is. I mean, if you don't, I mean, what you mean, like if you're the owner?
Yeah.
If you don't own 51%, you can be, ousted as CEO, kind of a la Steve Jobs, that sort of thing.
Or you could just like lose any control of your company.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of depends on if you care about that, because you still be potentially a multimillionaire depending on the company, but
yeah. Well, and the problem is, even keeping that in mind, you could have left 55% of the company within the founders, but that 55% could have been split up between multiple people, and then one person leaves and they're like, fuck it, I don't care anymore, and they sell that off, and now more than half the company is floating around, and somebody could snipe it all up.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah. We do have things to talk about, I guess. At least some interesting things. Actually, it's something, since we were talking about Final Fantasy, that I'm actually excited for as soon as I read the news. Are you familiar with Mistwalker Studios?
Sounds familiar.
Mistwalker Studios was a company, a small little development studio founded back in 2004 by Hironobu Sakaguchi. Do you know that name?
Sounds familiar.
Sakaguchi was the original creator of Final Fantasy. He had been on the games for, I think, all the way through 6. I don't remember how long he was on, but I think he at least was for the first 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
And he formed Mistwalker Studio in 2004. I think maybe he was even on until he formed that, so that would mean he at least sat through like 7 and 8 and stuff like that. And Mistwalker Studio have made things like The Last Story and The Last Odyssey, which are kind of spiritual successors to Final Fantasy. You can even see that there's like a shared naming convention between them. And a couple other classic style RPG games just with modern looks. And they announced a new game coming out that I am super excited for. And it's called Fantasian. Which it already kind of sounds like a Final Fantasy X game. It's made entirely... Yeah, Fantasian. Made entirely in handmade dioramas. Yeah, so like all the sets are dioramas they made by hand and captured and stuff like that.
Fantasian sounds like Asian orange soda.
Yeah, it could. Or it sounds like I don't know, a past participle version of the movie Fantasia.
Yes.
Final Fantasy 7 is going to be this month's free game for PS Plus, Joshua.
Of course, Restream is no longer working. Since I'm guessing.
Is it?
Well, I mean, it's working not for chat. I'll have to switch. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's just Twitch because I'm still getting DLive and YouTube through here.
Okay. Oh.
You know
Twitch
how
is up.
Restream and Twitch go.
Yeah, I'll have to bring up both chats at the same time because I can't see what anyone's saying anywhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Joshua Hughes, hey there, by the way. I heard Final Fantasy Remake is going to be this month's free game for PS Plus.
Yeah, I already answered that.
If it's free, does that mean you get to keep it for free forever or only for like that month?
Well, no, so you keep it for free until you run out of PS Plus. It is on your account. And you can get it back again if you renew PS Plus. It's just on your account and you have to have PS Plus to do it. That's how the PS Plus games have always worked. I had some games on my PS3 that came and went depending on when I had PS Plus.
Okay, but I mean, if you have a continuous PS Plus account,
you could continue to play the game, yeah.
If it's free for 1 month, you get it for free forever.
Yeah, you just have to pick it up when it's free.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting Twitch again now. It says, because Buck said Restream sucks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it goes.
Yeah. It was probably just delayed for it to hook back in.
Well, okay, yeah, weird. Man, now I'm wishing I had a PS5. Well, not really.
No, I don't.
It would be cool to play it for free. I would not pay for it.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so not only is everything a handmade diorama for the sets, and it actually has like a very classic Final Fantasy feel to the game so far for what they've been saying. But
it says it was inspired by Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's another selling point to it. And Sakaguchi has a long-time old friend coming in to collaborate. The soundtrack will be composed by Nobuo Uematsu, who everybody knows was the longtime composer for the Final Fantasy series. He made everything up until, like, 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Uematsu's work. I think, actually, that could be close, and I think one of the other people close to it is Nintendo's longtime composer Koji Kondo, and both of them are classically trained. But I think Nobuo Uematsu might single-handedly be the greatest composer of the modern day. And he's just undervalued because he composes for video games. But, like, that guy is such a genius musically.
Well, I was thinking about this. It's kind of coincidentally, because like I said, I was playing around with Dragon Quest III, and I was thinking to myself, the one interesting thing about the Dragon Quest series is that they reuse the same songs, have very few new melodies throughout the whole series. Mm-hmm. It's very, very slow to add new compositions, but with Final Fantasy, it's like
game there's new stuff.
Practically from scratch. And I was kind of puzzling over, like, why is Dragon Quest so much more popular in Japan? But I mean, there's other reasons, but still, like, as far as the music is concerned, the Final Fantasy music is like, second to none.
They have one of the greatest composers of all time working for them.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, like, there's some like reused assets, but like there's a lot of just completely original music game after game, and some of the most original music you could ever consider. Like, have you ever heard prior to One Winged Angel a song like One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII? And it's even like the way that Uematsu composed it was he would just let little ditties come to him. Right, he wrote it in two measure phrases, right? Mm-hmm. And he would just let it come to him as he's walking around the courtyard at the square building. Over the course of like a month, he would write them down, and then after he had all of these phrases written down, he then played like a puzzle rearrangement game where he just started moving them around until they sounded the way he wanted to. He kind of almost let the song write itself instead of going from like beginning to end telling a story. He just created pieces, and it made this really unique song because of that.
Yeah, well, I always find, like, I mean, even the Final Fantasy battle music is different from game to game, but it's like so catchy.
And it gets
and
you,
it's
right? For like the first
yeah,
6 games, it starts the same. It'll be like the
yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's something completely different after that.
Yeah, it's funny that it sounds like like sometimes like three or four different compositions kind of spliced together, like one right after the other, and I'm like, the song from beginning to end has yeah, yeah, it has different sections of the song sound completely different from each other, but they all kind of work together.
Yeah.
So
And then sometimes
that's cool.
too, this is why I like 4 so much, because most of the time, the boss battle music will be something that's like drastically different than the normal battle music. And you do get some of that in 4. But the actual first boss battle music in 4, the basic one, sounds like the regular fight music at first. So it's slightly different. You can hear a tone shift. But it starts out with the so you think, okay, this is a normal battle, and then you hear the change like, oh snap, I'm in a boss battle. You got me, Nobuo. I didn't see this coming.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So he's doing the music for Fantasian.
Yes, he is doing all the music for it.
That's awesome.
And he actually, like, occasionally he'll make something, but he's basically been in video game composition retirement. You know, like he'll go around, he'll actually compose symphonies. For a while, he was playing with his band, the Black Mages, but he wasn't writing new music. At most, he would remix his old stuff. But for Sakaguchi, because they're friends, he's going to be doing the music for this game. And I'm so excited to hear brand new original music by Uematsu. Actually, I could probably even say he's probably my favorite musician. Like, just my favorite songwriter and stuff like that. And I'm even kind of a music guy. Like, I sit there and I'll appreciate music.
I'm just looking at some. So I hadn't heard of this. I guess it's they've kind of just started coming out with stories about this game. Is there any kind of release date or estimate?
I don't know. I don't see it yet. I'm still scrolling down.
Oh, but it's a mobile game.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing at first. Like, I'll still give it a chance though, because if it's an RPG, you can play a turn-based RPG on a phone, no problem. And anytime games like this get a mobile release, you'll usually find like a Steam version or something anyway.
I mean, I could get a new iPad maybe and play it. Do you guys not have phones? Come on.
See, an RPG, totally, I would play on a phone, no problem. Diablo.
Yeah, but
why would I want to play Diablo on a phone?
You know, it seems like such a waste because look how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
Like, my God, that would look fantastic on this beautiful, whatever it is, 23-inch monitor in front of me. I'd love to play it on that. Why are they putting it on phones?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what. Whenever it comes out, maybe I'll put it on an iPad and stream it with reflection or something, reflector or whatever. Because I can display my iPad on my computer screen. It would be cool if they came out with it for Switch or Steam or something.
Oh yeah, I really want them to. Like, I'll play it on my phone. Don't get me wrong. You tell me Sakaguchi and Uematsu are making a game, and I'm like instantly sold on that. I don't really need any convincing, but I mean, even there's a quote directly from it because they're talking about how classic Japanese RPGs are making a resurgence. I mean, with the exception of like Yuji Horii with the Dragon Quest series going strong from beginning to now. We're only seeing things like with Bravely Default and Octopath. A lot of those games are really coming back. And Sakaguchi even said in a quote, translated obviously because he speaks Japanese, "Let's be honest, I'm in the latter chapters of my game development career, and each game can take years to go from conception to release." And he's like, I personally enjoy playing these type of games the most, and that's what is bringing me back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad he is, because I love all kinds of games. I'm a variety gamer. You just give me a fun game, and for the most part, I'll play it. With very, very few exceptions, like, I'm not really into most of these, like, survival adventure games. I hope they didn't lose us.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah. Dang it. Yeah, I'm still red.
What is happening?
I don't know. I really don't know. What the hell is up with our service?
I can tell when you start roboting out. It's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. At the moment, OBS is getting 0 kilobits per second.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Okay, now we're at the 5,000. We should be coming back. Yeah. Here we go. I don't know what's up with the network here. Anyway, as I was saying, like, you give me a puzzle game with a story, you give me a fighting game where I have to go through fights to progress, a beat 'em up, you give me a racing game, anything that gives me actual goals to progress, like, in the game, and I don't have to do that myself, I'll play. But turn-based RPGs are probably my absolute favorite game type of all games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been playing them since I was a little kid. I'm still playing them now. Like, I'm enjoying Bravely Default. And I have no idea why these type of games have been disappearing. Like, I don't have a problem with action-adventure RPGs. As an alternative, I like those games. But I hate it when I see a lot of my favorite series stop being the type of game that they were. Like Final Fantasy, for example. And I want more games like this, not less.
Mm-hmm. Well, who is it that said wider? Mr. Squeaker said wider audience. Yeah, I was just curious to look up, and yeah. So here's the thing: it's only coming out for iOS. It's not coming out for Android. But there are 1.65 billion active iOS devices in the world.
Oh, that pisses me off, though, because there's absolutely no way I'm ever getting an iOS device.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, it doesn't look like it's coming out for Android.
Well, I don't need it to come out for Android. I just need it to do good enough that they want to put it on Steam.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says iOS. No, wait a minute. Wait. It says it will be playable on iOS, Mac, and Apple TV. Ooh.
Yeah, it'll probably eventually get a Steam port then.
How? Yeah. Will they have their own launcher? I mean, that's weird. Yeah. Why are they developing it for Mac?
I don't know. Maybe Apple is helping fund this?
Maybe. It's very strange.
I don't know.
iOS, Mac, and Apple TV. That's weird.
Yeah, wait for it to... That's what I'm going to do, is wait for it to get off Apple. I'm not buying an Apple device.
Yeah. GMT says we need to start targeting